Hey guys, this week we're going to be talking all about layer masks. We just got finished with adjustment layers and looking at the layer mask within that adjustment layer. And what we're going to look at this week is how we can pull elements off of their background in a non-destructive way. We're going to be looking at all different types of masking. But what we're going to focus on in the next few minutes is just what is an actual layer mask. Now what I have here is I have my image, and my image consists of a layer, and if I wanted to get rid of anything on this layer, I would, without the use of layer mask, I would have to do it in a destructive way. I could either use my eraser and erase areas of my image, which will basically delete those pixels. I could also make a selection of an area and press delete, which again would also delete those original pixels. But if what I'm wanting to do is basically pull an element or an area of this image off of its background in a non-destructive way, the best way to do that is to work with a layer mask. The layer mask icon is in the bottom row of the layers panel, and it looks like a rectangle with a circle inside of it. And just like with adjustment layers, when we looked at last week how an adjustment layer will come in with a layer mask, we talked about how everything that is white is going to be revealed, everything is black is going to be concealed or hidden. So same principles apply here. If I introduce a layer mask to this layer, I see that this entire mask is white. That means all areas of this image are visible. Now, the moment that this mask becomes black, those areas will be hidden. And just like when we looked at adjustment layers, there are a lot of different ways that we can do that. One way is to take a selection that we have, and we can fill that selection with black. When I use black to fill that area in, what I'm actually doing is I'm masking it. So it's still there, it's just hidden. Everything that's white on this layer mask allows that area to be visible. Everything that's black is going to be hidden, or it's going to be protected. Now in order to get that back, I could use my brush tool, and I can basically just paint back with white. So this is a non-destructive way to show and hide content on a layer. Let's take a look at a couple of other ways. Let's introduce another layer mask. Now from scratch, I could start off with a layer mask. Again, I could use a selection, build a selection and fill it with white, fill it with black to show and hide elements on my page. I could also use my brush tool, and I could paint with black to hide those areas. If I wanted to bring those areas back into my image, then all I would do would be to flip these colors. Shortcut key would be your X key, and I can paint back white as long as this mask is selected. Now if the layer is selected and I paint white, I'm actually painting white on the layer, or I'm painting black on the layer. But as long as my mask is selected, when I paint with white, it's going to reveal areas on that mask or on that layer mask. When I paint black, it's going to hide areas on that layer mask. So let's go in and explore these just a little bit more. What we have here is a file that we worked with a few weeks ago where we were to create a selection and save that selection. And we can do a lot of different things with that selection. What we're going to use that selection for today is to basically pull this Colosseum off of its background. So let's go up and let's find this selection. Select, load selection, and I'm going to load the Colosseum or building selection. Now what I have here is I have a marching ant selection around the Colosseum, canceling out the windows and whatnot. And in order to pull this off the background, all I need to do is introduce a layer mask. And it's pretty much as easy as that. If you start off with a selection and introduce a layer mask, all of the areas that are inside of that selection are going to be revealed. All of the areas outside of that selection are going to be masked. Let's take a look at a couple more. Going to load my balloon selection, introduce a layer mask, and now what I have is I've canceled out my background. Everything that's white is visible, everything that's black is masked or hidden. Here's another one we'll work with this week. And in order to mask it, we have a selection. We basically create a layer mask, and then all of the areas that are inside of that selection are going to be visible. All the areas outside are going to be hidden. So we're going to explore this a little bit more in the next video and look at how we can refine these, how we can load a couple of advanced selections, but a lot of the same principles apply. Layer masks are very, very important to you as designers, as photo manipulators, as photographers, and whatnot. And we're going to be using these to do all different types of things this semester. So stick around, and we'll explore this a little bit more in our next video.